We continue to read 108 aphorisms on Tantra Yoga with comments. And today we will continue with the 15th aphorism. If you want to start listening from the beginning, then please find videos with aphorisms in our playlists. 108th are aphorisms on Tantra Yoga. And we begin with the 15th aphorism.
Aphorism 15. She came to you for joy, happiness, and liberation, without using him/her for sorrow, suffering, and enslavement. Comment. As a rule, first a young man and a girl have a honeymoon, then they have a month of sadness, and then they begin, roughly speaking, to wipe their feet from each other. It's very sad, and the two halves met. We met for happiness, but everyone has negative karma left, which makes them show their evil character. What is given to us for happiness, in order for us to rise higher, we begin, on the contrary, using this energy released from the connection of consciousness of energy, to descend. This is the danger of tantric practices. A young man and a girl combined consciousness and energy. They had the ability to fulfill a desire, and the previous karma forces them to be grumpy, to be dissatisfied in every possible way, and to nag each other. They use an impulse that could lift them to an incredible height, and they fall even lower than they were before. It should always be remembered here that your other half came to you for joy, happiness, and liberation, and it should not be used for sadness, suffering, and enslavement. Now, a formal comment on this. When you start practicing yoga and begin to connect consciousness, energy within yourself, you will have happiness, joy. You will sometimes be captured by manic ideas that have remained from the karmic past. Use this energy carefully. Do not try to poison anyone's life.
Aphorism number 16. You're free. If you want to enjoy, enjoy together. If you want to suffer, suffer alone. Comment by Vadim Zaporozhtsov. The most typical situation. A young man, a girl, one of them is bad for some reason. He can and has the right to suffer, but to suffer alone. He has no right to impose suffering on anyone else. If you feel bad, it makes sense to retire and rethink some moments and come to yourself. If people want to be with you when you feel bad, it will be their decision. On the contrary, if you feel good, then share your joy with others. We often look for wine in those who are to blame for their suffering. And, as a rule, the one who is nearby turns out to be guilty. This is wrong. We begin to identify our karmic pollution with the rest of the world, but this is only our karma, and we have to get rid of it. Try to be alone at such moments. When there is a union of consciousness energy, when consciousness comes from a man, and there is energy from a woman, then their union generates pleasure in one form or another, starting with intellectual, ending with sexual. When there is an interaction of consciousness and energy, there is the joy of life. But sometimes this channel is blocked. There is a desire, but there is no satisfaction of desire. There is an aspiration, but there is no support for these aspirations. There is one half, but there is no other half. Retire and restore your harmony. Because when you retire, your significant other finds something else to manifest through. Through nature, through a bird, through a random stranger. Your state of mind is being restored, and having recovered here, relations in society are being reanimated in you. Alone, you rediscover your inner woman or man. The outer woman or man is interesting to us only as a manifestation of our inner woman or man. As long as the outer woman is the personification of the inner woman, it is a window into the universe. If this connection is interrupted, if you have stopped seeing your inner woman in your outer woman, she ceases to interest us. She ceases to be this window into the universal girl. From here comes suffering and loneliness. There is a position in Tantra that you have to spend some time with your inner woman or man. If you have not spent time with your inner woman or man for too long, then you are not inclined to see her or his manifestations in the outer woman or man. This is a certain element of the yoga of falling in love. When spontaneous love has already gone, and the spontaneity of the third level has not yet come. This is the most painful second level. How can we continue to see an external woman or man as a manifestation of the universe if the love has already gone? It is necessary to imbue it with the energy that we take from communicating with the inner woman or man. She or he gives external women or men the attributes that he or she is endowed with. The physical husband and wife are given to us only so that we discover our higher husband and wife. If we start clinging to an external husband and wife, then we are doomed to suffer. So, when you feel that you have lost touch through your partner with your cosmic half, retire. In no case do not blame your other half that he or she is to blame. They have nothing to do with it. This is your inner karmic showdown. As soon as you restore this channel with the Supreme, everything will resolve itself.
The 17th charism. Do not impose suffering, and do not allow yourself to impose it on yourself. Throw off your suffering. Give up on them. Become kind. Help others. Vadim's comments. There will always be someone who will impose suffering on you. Also applies to you. Don't try to demonstrate how bad you feel. If you are in a bad mood, try not to cross paths with other people. There is no suffering as such. Suffering is a violation of our enjoyment. We have our natural state. We can't reveal it yet, so suffering comes. Here is another serious addition: become kind. It is very easy not to allow suffering to be imposed on yourself, and at the same time be callous and evil. This is a mistake. Helps others. It means helping others to get rid of suffering. How can we help others to get rid of suffering? There is only one way to explain to them, at least at the level of their understanding, what is happening and how. Unfortunately, there is nothing more we can do to help. Only the universe helps. We can sometimes become instruments in the hands of the universe. The only medicine we can help with is the dissemination of knowledge. When you open the veil of instincts, behavioral images that have outlived their usefulness, and a person clings to them, if you are able to convey thoughts, only in this case, you will be able to help him. There is nothing more you can do to help him. You won't live your life for him. If you solve one of his problems, he will have a lot of new problems, and so on endlessly. Therefore, do your best to remove the obstacles in the way of knowledge and step aside. And whether a person learns this knowledge or not, it no longer depends on you.
Aphorism the 18th. No matter how many of them there are, you have only one. No matter how many of them there are, you have one. But it takes a very high yoga to realize this, to embody, to realize, to experience, to fulfill, and to become. Comment by Vadim Zaporozhets. No matter how many men you have, in fact, you have only one man. No matter how many women you have, you actually only have one woman. In Tantra, it is believed that if you entered this world in the body of a woman, then somewhere someone entered the body of a man. So that together you eliminate ignorance and complement each other. As soon as you complement each other, yoga will happen. The highest reality will immediately open to you, and you will reach the highest stages of yoga. Each of us has the imprint of the extreme, well, either a man or a woman. We are displaced in one direction or another from the equilibrium. In order for you to return, to realize yourself, you need another half, something to balance you. As soon as this happens, you go up very quickly to your spiritual development. It happens that men and women have a variety of options for a series of wives, husbands, mistresses, lovers. But by and large, you have only one center that balances you. But it manifests itself. It can manifest itself through different people, circumstances, and things. If there is one pole, automatically everything starts to turn the opposite pole towards you. If you are a man and you don't have a woman right now, then the whole universe begins to manifest for you as a woman. She can be capricious, she can be affectionate, bitchy, but that is. She can show all those emotions that an ordinary woman shows. If a woman has a lover or just a friend, then partly the second half will shine through him, and partly through the rest of the world. If a woman has 5 lovers, then some aspects of her other half shine through different people. And together we get a picture of unity. Now on a deeper level of explanation. You have only one energy, a woman, and only one consciousness, a man. But it takes a very high yoga to realize this.
And charisma is 19. He is one, but comes in 4 as if they were different. She is alone, but comes in 5 manifestations, as if they were strangers who do not know each other. Aphorism 20. 5 manifests itself in 2 extremes, it turns out 10. 4 manifests itself in all of its combinations. Comments by Vadim Zaporozhtsev. I want to point out once again that this treatise is for ordinary people. This treatise is primarily intended for people who have set the goal of their life self-improvement, mastering the highest levels of knowledge. The meaning of their life is to go this way. This is one of the most difficult aphorisms to comment on. The law of 4 and 5 is set out here, the most complex, contradictory, and misunderstood law. We remember that we have only one energy and only one consciousness, but energy manifests in 5 different groups, awareness with 4 different ways. Although it is one, it can manifest itself in 4 different aspects. This is a kind of fragmentation. If you are a man and you have a woman, then, as a rule, some one aspect is present in her strongest manifestation. For a man, there are 5 different variants of women, 5 features that a man is interested in, which make a woman attractive to him. If at some point all 5 aspects manifested through one woman, then a man falls in love with her without memory, loses his head, goes crazy. If all 4 aspects of consciousness have manifested in a man, then a woman falls in love with him without memory. This infatuation lasts until a woman or a man discovers that there were not all 5 or 4 aspects, but there was one pronounced, and all the others to a lesser extent. A little time passes. A man falls in love with another woman, because some aspects that were missing in the first, he sees in the second. So, there are 5 such aspects for women, and for 4 men. Among people professing Tantra Yoga, relationships are built so that each of the missing aspects can be obtained by a person. Roughly speaking, he is a yogi practicing Tantra Yoga, engaged in various exercises in pairs, getting 5 aspects of energy, if it is a man, and 4 aspects of consciousness, if it is a woman. As soon as this set is assembled, the person makes a sharp jump up. The law of 4 and 5 states that a yogi or a yogin leads his or her lifestyle in such a way that he or she has a full set of partners with whom every aspect is worked out. As soon as each aspect is worked out, a direct exit into the yoga of falling in love begins. Then you have a person, a man or a woman, who begins to personify all aspects of himself at the same time. You already deserve this level, and go to the yoga of falling in love. The yoga of falling in love is not just fast, but instantaneous, akin to enlightenment. After that, all the other yogs become secondary in a sense. The yogs of her day, living according to the law of 4 and 5, never have problems with the male or female half of humanity. Firm practice, a certain range of superpowers opens up with each of the partners, just as a lock opens with a turn of a key. But in order for these practices to work, you have to accept them. First of all, you should not be jealous or envious. It would seem that all the wealth is on the surface, but it is impossible to take it. It's a double-edged sword. He will give you superpowers, but at the same time, he will cut through all your ignorance, and if you cling to your ignorance, let's say you are jealous, then you will experience very great torment. Tantra is open, but you will not approach it if there is at least something dirty in you. This dirty stuff will start to burn you from the inside. If we are pure, we can get everything we need, get any superpowers. But at the same time, any non-purity within us begins to burn with incredible force. Until we get rid of this dirt, we will not be able to approach all the wealth.
Tantraphorism 21st. After going through the love union of each of these beautiful ladies, if you are a man, you will understand that they are all one. Enjoying each of these 4 princes, if you are a woman, you will understand that he is one. Vadim's comment for this aphorism completely rests on the yoga of falling in love, where it is said that if you meet a person who contains 5 aspects of female or 4 aspects of male, then you see in front of you not a person, but a manifestation absolutely in male or female form, and you can't help but fall in love with him. You finally see what you were striving for. You see your true husband or wife as your other half. The yoga of falling in love says that if even for a moment you saw 4 aspects in a person, or if you are a woman. Or 5, if you are a man, then you fall in love with him. Let's say I'm a man, looking for the woman of my dreams, absolutely in a female form. But on the way to the absolute, there are 5 doors, 5 opaque windows. As soon as these 5 windows are open, I see her, I fall in love. Let's say I'm walking around the city, and I see a girl, and suddenly these 5 windows have opened. I realize that I see the girl of my dreams. I'm falling in love. Then, on closer inspection, one of these windows closes, and over time, I begin to feel that this divine in her begins to disappear. Why is this happening? At some point, these 5 doors were opened. I didn't know how to open them. They opened themselves, and then these doors somehow closed, and I begin to see my half in this person less and less. Tantra Yoga says the following, that a person, like a good burglar, picks up the keys to the next door from life to life. First, he spends a certain number of lives to know one aspect. Then, he spends another number of lives to open the second. Then the third door, and so on. When he opened all 5 of these doors in his billion-year life, he is already able to see God in any woman. He is able to open any woman. These people are great saints, great yogins or yoginis. As they say, such girls are found in our time. If you are lucky enough, if you are a man, to spend some time with her, she will be able to reveal you. She knows these 4 men's doors. As soon as she opens these 4 doors in you, you rise to her level. In the same way, there are men who can open any girl and raise her to the same high level. This is about what is said in this aphorism. Having opened each of these 5 doors, if you are a man, you will understand that she is alone. She is alone, but she shines through all these women too, and from the woman's side. What is meant by the 4 and 5 aspects? Our space has 3 dimensions, length, width, and height. Similarly, every woman has 5 dimensions, every man has 4 dimensions. This is not a quality of the mind, not a quality of the body, it is not a quality of the spiritual level. This is a kind of slice of the physical layer. Figure. The intermediate layer is character, temperament, and the 3rd layer is spiritual aspirations. We took this conglomerate and divided it into 5 or 4 parts, like into 5 pieces of cake, where each piece contains 3 components: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual.
This is the end of these 7 aphorisms. The following aphorisms will continue to stand up next week, and we remind you that our name is Tatiana Tatva, and
I forgot.
Anton Quickly, and we are teachers of the Open Yoga School. All information is on the website of the OpenYogaClass.com. There are free internet yoga courses and paid teacher training in Russian and English.
Tram pam pam pam.